A shocking report on the state of American air. Obama saves the day, sorta, by signing a tough emissions bill, and a new line of Couture Gas Masks. This is Greendig.
Greendig, Greendig.
It's May 20th, 2009, and this is Carl with the countdown of the top 3 most intriguing environmental news stories of the day, plus a new feature, special guest blogger. Number 3 story, just when you thought it was safe to breathe, the American Lung Association issued its 2009 State of the Air report for the United States, and it is sobering news. A full 3 out of 5 Americans, that's 186 million people, are breathing air that, quote, endangers lives. California does great in terms of energy efficiency, but when it comes to car driving, we are terrible, and it really shows. 6 out of 10 of the worst, most polluted cities in the United States are in California, and guess who's number 1? Los Angeles. So there's a little bit of irony there, a green blogger breathing in the most toxic air in the US. But there is some hope of the Obama variety. On Tuesday, President Obama signed into law what is being heralded as the toughest auto emissions bill ever signed in U.S. history. It requires a 39 mile per gallon fleet-wide average for cars and 30 mile per gallon fleet-wide average for trucks. Now that's an average of 35.5 miles per gallon fleet-wide. It's not a minimum standard. So auto manufacturers are allowed to make cars much less efficient, like 30 miles per gallon, but they have to have cars that counterbalance that are much more efficient. Now everyone from environmental groups to Congress to the auto manufacturers are dancing with joy in the streets over this new law, but that euphoria of hope dwindles just a little bit when you look at 3 things. First of all, the standard drum roll comes into effect 2016, that's 7 years away. Secondly, in effect, it's only a bump up from the existing CAFE standards which President Bush had put into law, which required gradual increases of efficiency, leading to 35 mile per gallon efficiency in 2020. So it's just like we're getting there 4 years earlier. And also it doesn't acknowledge more radical technologies like plug-in electric vehicles, which really could dispense with the gasoline engine altogether. When you realize that American cars are the #1 source of greenhouse gas emissions and a leading cause of death in the US from particulate emissions, it seems that given what we know, this law is, well, a little bit gradual, which maybe does explain why all 11 auto manufacturers were breathing a big sigh of relief on Tuesday, a sigh however tainted with car exhaust. So for those of you still concerned about air quality, there is a new line of products for you, Couture Gas Masks. World-famous artist Diddo Vilema came up with a very interesting concept for Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and Swarovski, a gas mask outfitted with rhinestones and the finest leather, perhaps anticipating a need in the very near future for Hollywood celebs and Wall Street execs to look chic in a post-apocalyptic world. Of course, these aren't real products, they're art objects, but I think the Couture Gas Mask asks a really interesting question. Can true wealth really exist in a world that's filled with pollution? So what do you think? Leave your comments below. And on the cheerier side, our #1 story comes from the Green Smith. So take it away, Paul.
Hey there, this is Paul Smith from Pundit, Ecopreneurist, and the Greensmith Consulting blogs. Last week, California utility PG&E made a record-setting deal with Bright Source Energy for 1,310 megawatts of solar thermal-based energy. Solar thermal basically takes an array of mirrors aimed at water, creating steam, which then turns turbines and creates energy. My only question being, where are they going to get the water? Because we're not exactly awash in it. But this is going towards a legally mandated requirement that all investor-owned utilities in California get their energy from 20% renewable sources by next year. However, PG&E is on the game. This year already they do have 12% of their portfolio coming from renewable sources, and they're aiming for 14% by the end of the year. So, it's a great start.
And that's a Greendig wrap. See you next time.